my name is James, and welcome to Mirror Domains. And this is a movie review for Midway. Yes, Midway is directed by Roland Emmerich and stars Ed Skrein, Patrick Wilson, Woody Harrelson, Luke Evans, Mandy Moore, Dennis Quaid, Aaron Eckhart, and Nick Jonas. Now, this movie is about the Battle of Midway that just happened after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and it was kind of this movie is actually based off of real people. So I was kind of skeptical at first, wondering that are they going to do the story justice, and are they going to actually pay respect to the people who actually fought in the battle, because they are using real the real life people's names and characters. So it was kind of like, well, all right. If you are a history buff, then I think you are going to be expecting the story to hit a few notes. And this does have a lot of story that it covers. And I'm thinking maybe it perhaps maybe stretched it a little too much, because there's the Doolittle bombing that happens in Tokyo that just kind of they show, but it I'm not. It just feels like maybe they should have just focused more on the Battle of Midway. It is 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it's a bit of a longer movie. And one of the first things that jumps out at you right off the bat is the visual effects. It's the fighting, because it starts with the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and all of that stuff is fantastic. Like the dog fights, the actual people on the boats, seeing the gunfire come in, the planes flying down towards them. You just get the feeling that you're immersed in that, and it's really effective. And I was like, wow, that's cool. That, like, not cool, but I mean, it's doing a good job of showing what it was probably like. It was just chaos, utter chaos, when you're just standing there thinking like you're having a normal day, and you just kind of like look over and you're like, what are those planes? Holy, they just open fire, and you're just in the middle of anarchy. And you're just scrambling, trying to remember your training and your orders. Okay, get below decks, get the wounded. Okay, let's get to our battle stations. And then you just see like a bomb blow up part of your ship, and you're like, okay, well, it's going down. And it's just kind of like, wow. And it opens up like that, and it sets the plate fairly well. And you would expect that momentum to happen. But what happens is that they take the time for lulls in the story to explain, the strategy with the tacticians and such like that, from both sides of the American side and the Japanese side. And sometimes I was figuring that maybe they took a little too much time doing that, because it lost some of its momentum, where we're talking with some of them, and then all of a sudden they're in the air again. They're ready to take another mission. And as I said, all the stuff that when they're on the aircraft carrier and when they're in the air fighting and all of that stuff is brilliant. That's the selling point of this movie. That's gonna be like the standout. And is it one of the best war movies out there? No, it suffers from script issues. Like the dialogue at times is, I'm not sure if I'm really buying this. Because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the tone of the battle scenes, because they're trying to develop the characters and give them heart. I'm just not buying it. Or maybe it was the chemistry between Ed Skrein and Mandy Moore. Mandy Moore did a good job, but there's something about the chemistry there that's it didn't really work. Patrick Wilson as the Edwin Layton as the tactician, the intelligence officer. I thought he probably had the best role, the best performance, because you could see that he was the one that was warned. He warned people about Pearl Harbor, but they didn't do anything. So he felt responsible. He got the impression he felt responsible for that. So he really, really wanted to go out of his way to immerse himself in all the intelligence and get all the reports and try to do as much as he can and could do to prevent another tragedy like that. And I liked that part of the story. I thought that was really well done. Woody Harrelson comes in as the admiral that takes over the operations and such like that. Some of the characters, as I said, though, were kind of like, why are you there? It was cool seeing Dennis Quaid work with Roland Emmerich again, because it was it The Day After Tomorrow they worked together. But Dennis Quaid was doing his growly voice, menacing old man kind of. Halsey, he played Halsey. And he kind of gets taken out halfway through the movie. And Aaron Eckhart, as I said, the Doolittle, he's the pilot that goes over Tokyo, and it's kind of glossed over. So they may lose people with that, because it's kind of interesting to see it, but then it just goes by like that, and you're like, and for me, what kind of took me by surprise was Nick Jonas. I was kind of like, oh, okay. Now, I don't know if he was a real person, but I knew that he was in the movie, but I didn't know that he was going to have the impact. Like, you kind of like look at his character and you're like, yeah, I like that guy. He's cool. And what happens to him, it really sells you that, yeah, Nick Jonas, he can act and he can handle it, guys. And this is perfect for him. This is a perfect stepping stone for him to build up his resume and say, hey, guys, you know what? Acting, I can do that too. It was really cool to seeing that. Okay, so I don't like. This is a movie where you can't really spoil anything, because it is based off of historical events. You pretty much know that the way that things turn out. It was just kind of like, well, how are things turning out? And as I said, the battle scenes are great, but some of the dialogue is, I don't know if it was the best written stuff. It's definitely not one of the top war movies that'll stand out in your mind and make you go, yeah, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But you know, I did some trailer reactions to this, and I got some good feedback in that, where people were interested in seeing this battle go down with the newer effects and stuff like that, and talking about the battle. You won't be disappointed in that aspect by far. And it does a good job at paying respects to the fallen and the people who fought in this war. I thought it did a tremendous job at doing that. But as I said, there's something about it that's just not, it's not one of the top war movies out there, but it's not one of the terrible ones either. It's just middle, it's just above middle of the road. For me, I thought I liked it a lot more than I think most people will. I'll give Midway a 7 out of 10. And there's the score sheet right there. I figure if you guys want to go out and see some good fighting sequences in the air with the planes and such, you're gonna enjoy this for the most part. All right, that's it. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right up here. That's my review for Midway. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.